welcome back to Hallpass with JRod. You see what's going on behind me. It's called construction. Well, let me tell you, I am not the construction type. Although I'm pretty good at labor, here, carry this from point Y to point X, or hammer this nail in. But my life and my experiences have shown that I am really bad at doing construction. Like, for instance, at one point my partner and I decided to remodel our bathroom of our condo, small bathroom. So we were going to rip out the sink, we were going to tear up the linoleum, and we were going to replace the shower, kit. Okay. Well, that requires you to take up the toilet and redo all that stuff. So I take up the toilet. So now that's out of, commission. And so I start to rip up the linoleum. Well, that doesn't come up very easily. The glue they used in the 70s is probably industrial glue. It probably has some sort of a carcinogen and all kinds of stuff, but it holds. It's really good. So there's that. It took me forever to get the linoleum up. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get the shower unit and pull that out. So I got everything loosened up. And I'm like, okay, well, it's time to pull it out of its spot. And I'm pulling, I'm yanking, and it's not coming out. I can't figure it out. I've got all the nails and all the screws all loose and gone, and the staples are gone, and everything's gone. It should come right out and put the new one right in. So I ripped and I pulled and I yanked and I muscled up on it. And all of a sudden, pop! It pops loose. What I didn't do was unscrew the drain. So now the PVC from the drain is now popped. It's broken. And so now I have to replace the whole drain. So the whole shower unit was detached from the wall, from the floor, from everything, except for the drain. And I didn't think about the drain. And so I broke the crap out of the drain. I realized I'm just not good at this stuff. So then I rebuilt the drain and put the shower in. And now we decided to use the little hexagon tile for the floor, which is okay. They come in groups of probably, 15 by 15 or 18 by 18 or something like that. So it's pretty nice size. And remember, this is a small bathroom. But it's harder to put down than it looks unless you do it all day. And so I'm sure it looked like crap. To me, it looked okay, but it was not, and this is permanent, you know what I mean? So I did it. And then got the toilet back in and got the sink back in and got everything new. But I realized I'm not very good at this stuff. That was years ago. Then I tried to those nests where you want it like an efficient or a Wi-Fi connected thermostat. So I decided that I'm going to change my regular thermostat to a Nest. And looking at the instructions, or I call it the destructions, it looked pretty easy. Okay. So the very first thing I do is I take the old one off and get the wires and inadvertently or advertently or whatever, touch the wires. Some of you are like, oh, Roderick, JRod, oh my God. Well, so I connected everything and it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work, but I didn't know this. So I pulled it off, cleaned everything up, reconnected the brand new Nest, exactly how it says, and it doesn't work. Well, what did I do? I didn't know this. So I call a professional eventually, and they're like, dude, when you touch the wires together, you pop the circuit, and so of course it's not going to work. Well, I went without air conditioning in the middle of the summer a couple years ago for like 2 weeks before they can get me in. I had no idea that I popped this circuit when I touched the wires together. So I'm not very good at this, redoing things. Not very good at all. So sometimes you need to learn your deficiencies and your weaknesses and then try to overcome. Some of you are like, I don't have any weaknesses or deficiencies. Oh, really? Ask your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. I'm just kidding. Anyway, we all have some, and I find like this is like the, open up scenario with my Hallpass, and that is, what's JRod not good at? And it's a lot. And one of them is any kind of construction. Ironically, the first couple of years when I was in college, I helped build like 3 houses. I mean, I was the labor dude. Please carry this 12 by 12 or a 2 by 12, 2 by 12 by 20, which is a big piece of wood, especially in Oregon where it's waterlogged from here to there. I can do that. But for me to engineer a specific whatever. Nah, I've proved my life that I'm not good at that stuff. Anyway, what are you good at and what are you not so good at? Sometimes you got to admit defeat and move on. And other times, I think maybe it's just learning by defeat. You try something. Oh man, I bit off way more than I could chew. Cliche. Anyway, and then call the professionals. Maybe you should just call. So now I just call the professionals. Something goes wrong, call the professionals. Leaky roof, call the professionals. Problem with my hot tub, call the professionals. Whatever. Anyway, sometimes you got to do that. Anyway, JRod loves you.